Hello, friends. Welcome back. Today, we are going to talk about how to stop worrying and caring what everybody else thinks. Where are my fellow people pleasers, recovering perfectionists? This is for you. This message is for you. We spend so much of our time and our energy worrying so much and caring and putting so much energy and effort into what other people are going to think of us, of our decision, of our success, of our failures, like how much energy we spend worrying about that. And what I always think for myself and what I tell other people too is imagine what you could do with all of that energy and mental capacity that you are spending worrying about what everybody else thinks. And when I think back, I spent so much of my time and my energy growing up, and even up until the last couple years, worried about what other people thought, worried about how I, looked, or if I said something the right way, or if I was doing something in the way that would make people proud, or I just, thinking back to the workplace where I was always trying to prove myself and, okay, did I make them proud? Did I do it the way they wanted to? And not checking in with myself. Did I make myself proud? Am I excited? Do I like this decision? And trying to get everybody else's opinions and thoughts and making decisions from that place. I was the person who always, when I had to decide something, I would kind of go through my pro and con list. And then I would ask everybody around me. I would ask my husband, and I would ask my mom, and I would ask my friends, and I would, ask random people that I was networking with, what do you think? And while there can be a lot of value in getting other people's opinions and bouncing ideas off of people, it really depends on from which place it's coming. Is it coming because you're truly trying to get intel and do research and get ideas? Because obviously, if you're developing in your leadership, in your business, in your career, it's great to bring other people along and to network and get people that are smarter than you and who've been there, who can say, hey, have you thought about this? But a lot of the times we're doing it because we don't want to sit in the discomfort or the silence of ourselves and really lean in and dig into our own intuition and our own gut and just asking ourselves, what do you want to do? What do I want to do? What's right for me? What do I think? And we have all of this noise that can happen when we're constantly asking other people their opinions or what they think that we should do. And it's all of this noise, and it's taking away the power that you have to make those decisions from your own place of intuition. It's taking away the power of you doing things that you genuinely want to do and pursue, or who you want to be, because it's clouded by these layers and layers back from childhood of people pleasing and layers of other people telling us what we should do or who we should be or how we should act. And that is no easy process, right? It takes a while. It's sort of this peeling away the layers of an onion to get to the root. But there's little things that you can start to do. And when I think and look back at all of those times where I think, I would get people's opinions, but it would probably make me take longer to make decisions on things. I usually ended up coming back to the decision that I felt was right. That's a big piece of what I talk about is, building that self-trust, trusting your gut. And I've leaned on that heavily. And once I can silence some of those other noises, you can do that quicker and it gets easier, right? And so sometimes we get so clouded by what other people think you should do with your business, what other people think you should offer, what other people think you should, how you should communicate, how you should dress, how you should carry yourself, how they think that you should portray yourself to get that opportunity. Take that with a grain of salt. Take that and toss what doesn't work for you. Take in what feels aligned to you and what feels like it's on the right track for you, and toss all of the other stuff that is just going to be noise and clutter in your mind and in your decisions. And if we were to spend more time checking in with ourselves and what we want to do and what we think is right and who we want to be, and less time comparing ourselves to everyone else or worried about how everyone else does it or what they're doing or what they're going to think if we do this, then we would be able to not only feel more fulfilled and successful and aligned, but we would be able to like drastically expedite our results because it's in alignment with your values and your vision of what you want to do. And oftentimes when we find that we're feeling burnt out, we're feeling stressed out, or we're feeling like we're no longer in a place or a space that we want to be, it's oftentimes because we are out of alignment. And a lot of the times that comes in because we were doing things for the wrong reasons. We were doing things because other people told us to, or other people told us we should, or we thought that's the story we told ourselves that this is what is right or expected of us. And that has been a process for me personally, and I know for other people as well, when it comes to stop caring so much what other people think. Because I think there's sometimes, and I'd be curious, like your thoughts on this. Once you listen to this episode, I'd love if you reached out to me and let me know your thoughts. Because I think that there's almost this perception out there that it's selfish. Like it's selfish to worry about yourself. It's selfish to make decisions for yourself, even if maybe they aren't what other people want you to do. And so people don't want to be selfish. Like that goes against many people's human nature values of like, well, I want to care for other people. I want to help other people. And so people can feel like they're maybe being selfish when they're not taking everybody else's point of view in. But the thing is that that's just a story that we're telling ourselves. That's not the truth. The truth is that you can hold both. You can hold your own decisions and your own thoughts and opinions and ways that you want to do things or things that you want to pursue. And you can also still care about other people. It just doesn't mean that you have to take on everything, because oftentimes when people are coming at you and like naysaying what you're doing, or they're saying they don't agree with it, it's often more about them than it is about you. I'm going to say that again. If people are putting you down, or they're talking bad about what you're doing, or they're trying to convince you not to do this thing you want to do, it's often more about them and not about you. It's their own limiting beliefs. It's their own insecurities. It's their own story that they've written for themselves. Well, no, this is what you should do because this is what I do. This is what I've seen people do. This is what I only think is possible. And they might not be as far along on their journey as you are about understanding yourself and who you are and what you want. And just like we always talk about, it has to start with you and your ideas and your decisions and you doing things that's right for you and for your family and for the life that you want. And this has been sort of an unlearning for me in my journey, because as that people pleaser, I was always trying to do those things and get everyone else's opinion and do what I thought I should do. And when I decided that that's not what I wanted to do, there was absolutely people. There's so many, I have been so incredibly blessed. I have so many people that were cheering me on and celebrating me and telling me I could do it. But there was definitely those people saying, hey, are you sure you want to do this right now? Or do you maybe want to try it? Do you want to think about this? What if you did that? And I always had to come back and say, no, this is what I'm doing now. And I don't care if you don't think it's the right thing to do, because I do. And even if it's not, I'm going to learn from it. And it's not going to be a failure. It's going to be a lesson. And so you have to be able to kind of shed other people's stuff, their own baggage that they're putting on you, and stop caring so much. Right? It comes to, just starting my business and how I run my business and, how I use my time and where I have boundaries in terms of what I, will and won't do in terms of my own time and all of that. Like, people are going to have something to say about that, especially if you're changing or you're evolving. They're going to have something to say, or they're not going to like it. And you have to just be okay with that and stop caring so much what they think, because what you think is so much more important. And why are we putting the weight and weighing more of our decisions and happiness on other people and not as much on ourselves and what we think and what we want? When it comes to where we invest our money in, people have opinions on what you should do with that. Like, why would you spend so much money on, these health things, and oh my gosh, why are you doing these cold plunges, and just all of these things that we've started to do, that people have something that they want to say, or when we started to really change the way that we eat, and we're continuing to evolve to really eliminate, when you've been on the journeys that we've been on for our health the last couple of years, like, we will do anything. Health is number one for me. It always has been, and it will always be, because without that, you don't have anything. So as we've started to make decisions like, maybe not drinking when people are drinking, or eating certain things or not eating certain things, and being really more mindful. People have things to say like, well, you could take it too far, or, maybe more information isn't always good, or they always have their own opinions, and that's totally fine. But we can't care so much about what they think, because it's my body, it's my life, it's my decisions, it's my business, it's my family. At the end of the day, it's your life and your career, or your leadership, or your success, fulfillment, wherever you're at. And that matters more. And just know that anytime that you make a decision, not everyone is going to agree with it, right? And it can get tricky, especially if you're someone who's in a work environment. Like, when I say don't care what other people think, this is not permission to be a jerk. This isn't permission to just start treating people however you want, and, being rude and giving attitude and, well, I can do what I want, I don't care what you think. That's not the same thing, right? It's this inner peace and this inner confidence that, yeah, you might make a decision that might rub people the wrong way, but you're making it from the best place for you. And people who have this high level of consciousness, this high level of awareness for themselves, they also have it for other people. So in doing that, it's being able to release any sort of also like judgment of yourself and of other people, and that worry. But again, it's not like this giving you permission to just not care. That's people taking it maybe to the other extreme, the other way. It's more so just being so confident in who you are and what you want to do, that even if people don't agree, that's okay, but we don't judge them because of it. We know they're on a different journey. They're in a different place, right? And so even if you decide to make a decision that rubs people the wrong way, it doesn't mean that you're doing it to them. You're doing it for you, not to them. So whether it's, decisions in your business, decisions in your career, even as a family, if you're on this health journey and you're now, waking up earlier, you're deciding to go to bed at 9:00 because you want to get up early, and people have something to say about it, that's fine. You have to be able to release that and come back and go, what's right for me? What do I want to do? What do I want to do? What do I want to say? What do I want to pursue? And just because I want to do that does not mean that I'm putting down anybody else who wants to do it differently. This has been on my heart, and, just thinking about all those moments where it's like, yeah, I do life differently. I do life differently than other people do it, as do other people do life differently than me. And if I were to be worried about what everyone thought, like, I would not have a business, because I never would have shown up on social media. If I was so worried, I never would post some of the stuff that I post. I wouldn't have, started this podcast if I was so worried what other people thought, because not everyone's going to be your cup of tea, and that's okay, right? You're going to find the right people and the right spaces and the right places for you. And so I want to challenge you to think about, like, how much are you letting your worry and your fear about what other people are going to think, what other people are going to say? Like, maybe you have this on your heart to pursue your own business, or to grow your business, or to try something totally different, or go for another position, or leave your business and go back to a company, like wherever you're at. If you're spending all this time worrying, like, well, what are people going to think? It's wasted energy. Think of what you could be doing with that energy. And people, they worry what people are going to think if they fail. Like, oh my gosh, what if I fail? What are people going to think? But at least you're trying. You're above all the people who aren't even trying. Sometimes people even worry, like, what are people going to think if I succeed? Are they going to think like, oh, she just thinks she's better than us now, she has this money? Like, that's about them, and it's not about you. Stop spending so much energy there. Use that energy for impact. Use that energy for fulfillment. Use that energy for happiness. Use that energy for anything else other than spending so much time worrying about what everyone else is going to think. I hope that this message hits you right when you need it, where you're at right now, and whatever it is that you are spending so much attention, energy, and worrying about what everyone else cares about you and your life and your decisions, just know that what you want and what you desire matters more, and that you've got this. That's my message for you today.